Hi, you're watching Hourglass. Today we're talking about Game of Thrones. My name's Rob Davidson.
I'm Katt Birdsell.
So, right now we're in season 4, episode 3.
Yes, we are.
So, first, I want to start off with Joffrey. Joffrey finally dead. That is... Yes! Screw you, little man.
So, everything about you!
How satisfying to you was that death?
Well, I mean, what I loved the most about it was, the makeup job that they did was unbelievable. Because he starts, they really went through the progression of what it does. So, he starts off okay. Oh, yeah, about that. He starts off, just kind of like this, and then starts to even swell a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they oh my gosh, when they started turning them blue and purple, literally, because that's what happens. And then, even the bloodshot and the blood coming out of his nose.
It was funny.
I feel so bad to be so excited.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
That.
Watching it made me realize how much of a Game of Thrones fan I am, because I was cheering
for a teenager to die.
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah. You're going down.
And that's what I love about Game of Thrones is that the characters, you actually have feelings about every character, whether it's I hate that guy or I could kind of
Yeah, but then it's hard too because when you start in the beginning and you're just oh my gosh, that guy's awful. I can't even believe that. And then he kind of grows on you, but he also pushed a kid out of a window.
Yeah, exactly.
He shouldn't be okay ever.
It seems like every character has times where they're good, and then there's times where they just bring out the worst of that character. So there's really no great character. You wouldn't want any of these characters to be your roommate.
Which that's what's wonderful about it, though.
Yeah.
Too, is that
So I was reading online after the episode happened, and people were actually saying that they wanted Joffrey's death to be more they didn't really fulfill their wishes. They wanted it to be more painful.
But that's because the Red Wedding was so. Was so intense, and where it landed in the season was really big, and the things that they changed from what happened from the book into the show, and things like that. So it's kind of for that, Joffrey died relatively quickly. Yeah. And so you wanted him to be suffering longer, even though, by the way, kid's still dead, he's still choked to death. I was actually surprised that I feel like Cersei kind of held back a little bit, as an actress. So yeah, because I'm sitting there, just no, you are so much worse in every context. Yeah, I thought she would flip her stuff just a little bit more.
Well, do you remember Joffrey's death in the book where they're describing what was happening?
Yeah, well, and that's why, because it took a while to read it. That's why it feels like it happened so quickly in the show.
His skin starts turning black, and he's in so much pain that he starts ripping away
his throat.
his throat. And it's
and I think Catelyn did that too at the Red Wedding, didn't she? When Rob,
And see, personally, I would have loved to have seen that, because I was once Joffrey was dying, I was yes, down. That's just the thing I love about Game of Thrones, because I've never hated a character so much, but there's a small part of me that wishes he was still around, because he is so bad. He's a perfect villain. There's no redeemable quality about Joffrey, and it just makes it so that you have somebody to hate. Because now I'm who do I hate?
Well, but that's the thing, is that I can't wait to find out who we're going to hate.
Yeah, I guess Ramsay. I hate
I don't know, but
crazy.
Yeah, that guy is nuts. Oh, that's another makeup job that I thought was amazing. Was the one that they did on oh my gosh, what's his name?
Theon?
Yes.
Freak.
Well, and I know still, even again in the books, because the book is always better than the movie, kids, that he looks even much more sickly. But I thought they did an amazing job of just taking away his humanity. He's just he's dead behind the eyes, and he's so hollow. Yeah, his face is so and he kind of shakes.
It's interesting because when you're watching the show, you're oh man, this guy, he's going through hell and back. But then you remember
but then he was awful too.
He burned kids. This is a terrible person.
And not even the kids that he was supposed to.
Yeah,
well, not supposed to. You're happy that he didn't get the kids. But it's still, there's still some farmer who doesn't have his sons anymore.
Exactly. So it's so at the same time that you're oh man, this guy's going through, torture, and I hate, but, yeah, screw that guy.
that guy's not cool either.
Another thing that I thought was interesting was, the Red Wedding seemed to catch seemed to be more of a surprise, and that the purple wedding was spoiled for people. And I personally, when I was reading the books, like I kind of like you could see the red wedding coming more than like when Joffrey dies in the book. I was just blown away. Like what? Like how, at King's Landing? Like how is he? No, that how?
Yeah,
what?
You know you're killing everybody, right?
Yeah. But I mean that's. I thought that was interesting. Was like everybody seemed to know that Joffrey was going to die in this episode.
I still don't know how the red wedding wasn't spoiled.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Because...
It's like the red wedding was such a huge like. You have the King of the North dying. You have like, I mean, it's just a massacre, and somehow it wasn't spoiled online. Like how?
Because I was still reading. I think I was still reading the books at that point. I'm trying to remember the exact order. Anyway, the point is that I read the red wedding in the books before I saw the episode.
Yeah.
And I had no idea in the books or in anything that was coming, so it's kind of like one of those like fandom things that like if there's somebody new coming into Game of Thrones, it's like out of respect you don't mention it because it's like one of the biggest turning points, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I thought it was really weird. Like, I mean, I knew the red wedding was coming because I read the book, and for me, like if I'm watching it with other people, it's like. The people who read the books
and your leg starts to like, yeah,
like something's about to happen. But and then everybody else is just like, they're just horrified at the red wedding because it was such a massacre.
Okay, but here's the thing: is that I was totally terrified at the red wedding on the show because to me, on the show, it was so much worse than in the book.
Because of the music?
No.
Like, that was like a giveaway though. Like when the music changes, you're like,
no, it's because spoilers. They stab a pregnant woman in the baby.
Yeah.
That gives me the feels, man. Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, well, she had it coming. Like she wasn't even there in the book.
Yeah.
And so I mean that was part of it, and then too was that later on they addressed some of the things like they talked about what they did with Robb's body and the direwolf's head, but then they showed it, and I was just like. Was really hoping you wouldn't do that because I mean that's I mean honestly that's a lot for me. Yeah. There have been two very specific scenes in the show that like have been like even I would go as far as saying traumatizing for me because it's that hard to see it. But because and in your head it's bad, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
But so no, the red wedding was much harder for me. Had nothing to do with the music.
But when I was what I mean is like when I was watching it and like. The music changes at the wedding, and that gave me goosebumps because it was like that's when you knew like it's coming right now. Like and having read the books, it's just all of the things that you read, like all of the terrible things that are about to happen. It was like that was like the signifying point. Like it's starting now. Like it's red wedding time.
Don't have to go to the bathroom right now because there's stuff to watch.
And during that episode, I was like, are they gonna get to the wedding? Come on, we're wasting time here. I don't care what's happening with
yeah, because we all know what's coming.
Yeah, and other people are like, oh, this is like a filler episode. It's like, no, it's
not.
No,
it's just wait, just 1 second. What was it? And about that one too was the red wedding. Like leading up to it, it was at one point we were showing a friend of ours who hadn't watched it. So there was like 4 of us sitting behind him, and he was on the carpet watching it. And like all of us behind him, because it was like the first couple episodes, we're just going like, oh gosh, I hate that guy. And he's like, what's wrong with that guy? He's fine. We're just like,
you don't know yet.
Yeah, you don't know yet. And so we're just sitting there like making hand gestures behind him, and he's just like, okay, seriously, it's gonna be really annoying. And we're like, you're gonna make him too. And then the next person that you show this, you're gonna have those feelings too. Just wait for it. It's on its way.
So in the more recent episodes, you have. Like obviously the biggest thing that's happened so far is Joffrey's death, but then we also we saw Bran for a little bit, and Bran is 10 years old, but he's like got a deeper voice than I do.
He's like 19.
And I think it's interesting because like Dario is now a new character, like Dario is a new actor playing that role, but Darius.
I was like Daria.
No,
I loved Daria.
Darius. But then Bran is like the same actor, and I'm like, even if he had like one line in the show, it's like, oh, he ages faster.
Like if somebody would explain,
then I'd be back on board.
On.
I mean, there's dragons and there's magic in the show.
Yeah, so it's totally fine that he ages.
So it's fine that he ages. Just like explain it in 1 second.
Just really quick. By the way, growth spurt. Huge. Yeah. He found whatever Hodor's taken, and
you know, it was funny. There was an article that I read online that was saying that names of babies are being influenced by
Khaleesi.
Khaleesi, Arya.
Yep. Arya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not Sansa.
But no Hodors.
No Hodors. Oh, Hodor.
I would name my
no,
next,
you wouldn't.
My next cat is going to be named Hodor.
Cats are fine. You can name them whatever you want, but you don't do that to a kid.
I won't name a person Hodor.
No.
But I like Hodor. I met Hodor.
Everybody likes Hodor. Who doesn't like Hodor?
I know. Hodor's the man.
The one thing that I was really disappointed in the first season was the scene where the Hound and Arya go to, and she gets Needle back.
Yeah. Bad Hound, by the way.
What?
Bad Hound, by the way.
Is that I really loved that in the book that she was the one who really initiated that.
Yeah.
Like, she was the one who went and was just like, nope, I'm killing everybody. And the Hound was like, whoa, okay. All right. Well, now I have to kill people.
Arya's a bloodthirsty, crazy person. So.
She's great.
Yeah. That's the end of the Game of Thrones Hourglass. If you like it, subscribe and watch all of our other videos here. And we'll see you next time.